The role of social media in popular uprisings, and these have since been overtaken by darker forces embedded in social media, from ISIS to men's rights activist MRA killers. But there are times when the flow of information between citizens makes all the difference, times when the traditional news media can't be relied on, times when the possibilities of social media can be put to good use, times generally of crisis. Nonetheless, the crucial part of Kranzberg's observation is that technology is never neutral, and the crucial technology in this story is writing, a practice that binds humans and machines in a pattern of relationships without which most of what we call civilization is impossible. Writing technologies, being foundational to our ways of life, are never socially or politically neutral in their effects. Anyone who has lived through the rise of the internet, the spread of the smartphone, and the ascent of social media platforms will have seen a remarkable shift taking place. As writing has morphed from analog to digital, it has become massively ubiquitous. Never before in human history have people written so much, so frantically. Texting, tweeting, thumb typing on public transport, updating statuses during work breaks, scrolling and clicking in front of glowing screens at 3 a.m. To some extent, this is an extension of changes in the workplace, where computer-mediated communication means that writing takes up an ever larger share of production. And indeed, there is an important sense in which the writing we're doing now is work, albeit unpaid. But it is also indicative of new or unleashed passions. We are abruptly scripturient, possessed by a violent desire to write incessantly. So this is a story about desire and violence, as well as writing. It is also a story about what we might be writing ourselves into, culturally and politically. It is not an authoritative account. That is impossible this early in the evolution of a radically new techno-political system. This book is an attempt, as much as anything else, to work out a new language for thinking about what is coming into being. And finally, if we are all going to be writers, it is a story that asks the minimal utopian question, what else could we be doing with writing, if not this? Chapter 1. We are all connected. There is in our future a TV or internet populism in which the emotional response of a selected group of citizens can be presented and accepted as the voice of the people. Umberto Eco, Ur-Fascism. In 1922, the surrealist Paul Klee invented the twittering machine. In the painting, a row of stick-figure birds clutches an axle turned by a crank. Below the device, where the voices squawk discordantly, is a reddened pit. The Museum of Modern Art explains, the birds function as bait to lure victims to the pit over which the machine hovers. Somehow the holy music of birdsong has been mechanized, deployed as a lure for the purpose of human damnation. 1. In the beginning, there was the knot. Before text, there was textiles. From about 5,000 years ago, the Inca civilization used quipus, coloured strands of knotted string, to store information, usually for accounting purposes. They were sometimes called talking knots, and they were read with practised motions of the hand, much as Braille is today. But every beginning is, to some extent, arbitrary. We could just as well start with cave painting. The Chinese horse in Dordogne is more than 20,000 years old. The image is spare. The animal has some objects protruding from it, which might be spears or arrows. Hovering above is an abstract design which looks like a square pitchfork. Here, surely, is writing, marks on a surface intended to represent something for someone else. One could also begin with clay engravings, notches on bone or wood, hieroglyphs, or even